Welcome to another edition of the Dental Today podcast. Thank you for stopping by. This is brought to you by labmediatv. My name is Hezekiah Morales, and here we go. Remember to follow us on social media at labmediatv. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Dental Today podcast. Another special guest. This gentleman has been in the industry for over 16 years, currently working out of the University of Iowa. He is a CDT, also a bachelor's in science. He's going to go into these details. We are pleasured to have with us Mr. Kyle Bennett. Kyle, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? This is really exciting. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. We actually met this past February in LMT, but I have a feeling we had rubbed shoulders or something. It was your face. It seemed very familiar this past trade show. Do you recall us being in the same room or?
So I remember seeing you at Midwinter, and then I'm pretty sure we probably seen each other at just walking around, just kind of at all these different dental things. So we've probably seen each other either just at that event or other events. So
yeah, because when I approached you, your face seemed familiar, and I've got one of those superpowers, man. I'll see somebody and I'll never forget them again. I can see them in the mall many years later, and I'll remember them. But what a pleasure to have you, Kyle. You were sharing with me that you are currently, or you're going to share your story here. You're currently in the University of Iowa, but there is a transition going on.
There is.
Explain a little bit about that.
Okay, so I've been working in the PROS department at the College of Dentistry, teaching residents and helping faculty with all their fixed work and all their complicated cases and stuff like that. But being there made me realize I needed to go back to dental school. And so 4 years later, after working there for 4 years, next week's my last week, and I'll start dental school on August 26th. It's exciting. It's super exciting. It's a little weird, though, going back as a non-traditional student. We'd probably be the oldest guy in class, but it's all right. I got loads of experience to show them.
Exactly. So, the transition is a very different, very interesting transition, but you are a certified dental technician, and you have over 16 years of experience in the industry. Where did this all begin? You said you were going back to dental school. So where did the whole dental industry, persuasion begin?
Okay. So when I was in high school, I moved out of my parents' house when I was 15, and then couch surfed for a couple of years until I was 18, and then got my own apartment. And then I had a couple of teachers in high school ask me what I was going to do afterwards, and I was like, I don't know, probably just work, figure something out. And one of them was my art teacher, and she was like, well, this is what I was going to do. Maybe you should look into it. And it was dental lab. And so I ended up job shadowing with Todd Friedrich, who was a current lab technician in my position at that time. And so I job shadowed him and loved it. It was awesome. It was fantastic. This is perfect for me. And so I ended up getting a scholarship to Kirkwood Community College for the laboratory program. So that was 2003, and then I finished in 2005. And then worked in the lab for a little bit and realized, okay, so maybe I want to try to go to dental school. So I was doing that while I was working in the lab. I'd go to classes before work, so 7 o'clock, and then be to work by 8:30. And then over my lunch breaks, I would take more classes. And then right after work, I'd take more classes. And then did that for a couple of years. And then got accepted into the University of Iowa for my undergrad, and then studied integrative physiology. Got a bachelor's in science and integrative phys, and a minor in chemistry and a minor in art. And then applied for dental school back then. Didn't get in, but man, I think back then it was 2010, something like that. And it was super, super, super competitive. And so then an opportunity came up, because I didn't get into dental school at that time. Opportunity came up to teach at the dental lab program at Kirkwood. And I taught there for a few years, like 4 years as an adjunct. And then the opportunity came up at the College of Dentistry. And I took that because it was awesome. It's super awesome because it's where I job shadowed in the beginning. And I was like, yes, I want this job. I'm going to grow so much here. I can do so much. And when I first got there, the lab was bare, right? There was a porcelain oven and I had bare minimum stuff. There's no porcelain to even stack porcelain.
Wow.
So I filled this lab up. And now, 4 years later, in this lab, 4.5 years or whatever it's been, I've created a completely digital workflow with so like Ceramill. I got all the Ceramill equipment in the lab that I have that I work in, and then I set up a tech room for the residents to do work on with 3 different workstations with a buttload of software to do anything that they want, anything from completely guided surgeries to like 3Shape, exocad, and dental wings. But so it's been a long period of just being in the industry. And then once I came to the College of Dentistry and started working there and met my girlfriend, and she was like, you should just go for it. And I owe a lot to her. She helped me and pushed me and got me there, and I got accepted. And now it's all changing.
Wow, that is awesome. That is quite the story. And you were sharing that next week is your last week, correct?
It is my last week. And so now I'm at the lab. Yeah, they're in the process department. I'm just, cleaning it up, packing up, doing inventory, and, helping to finalize a couple things for some individuals, for some of the faculty and residents and stuff like that. And then I'll be done. And then I'll take a week off and do some stuff around the house, and that's it. And I'm going to be a broke student again. Yes.
We're going to level 2 here.
Yeah.
Again, that's awesome. That is pretty interesting. And you also shared that you were looking for somebody to take that position. Has that position been taken, or is that still open?
It is still open. And let me tell you this, anyone that would take this position, that you do have to be a CDT and have like 5 years of experience doing like full mouths and stuff like that, and like be able to do cases from start to finish, complete fixed workflow. And digital workflow would be, anyone with digital experience would be fantastic. But it is available, and what I've created, what I've built it is there and ready for the taking. It is a beautiful setup, like all the equipment you would just dream of, and you have complete free realm to play with this equipment and figure it out. And then on top of that, well, you have to figure it out because you got to teach it, right? And so it's really fun because as my job there is, I am lab support for residents, right? And it's 2 residents a year, and it's a 3-year program. So there's 6 residents, but this year is different. They took on 3. These new residents are awesome. They're super nice, great, and they're going to be fun to work with for the next person.
Right.
But yeah. So yeah, you have, once you learn all the software, then it's like you get to teach it, right? And there's opportunities there to teach it to the residents and teach it to the faculty. And that's where, like, I love teaching, right? I've been teaching for 8 years, 9 years now, and I love it. It is so much fun. I can't get enough of it. Like just sitting down and helping someone wax a crown, like a number 30, right? And then like once they get to their 3rd, 4th, or 2nd, 3rd year, you're sitting down helping them wax full mouths, and like, remember when we were waxing at number 30 and you're struggling with this line angle or this point angle or whatever, like now you got it. Finally, 3 years later, good job. And it's really fun. That's what I love about this job is like, it's really fun when a student finally hits the switch. It's like you see them struggle, and then it's just all of a sudden, just boom, they light up. It's fantastic. So that job is so rewarding in that sense, and just the people that you work with is fantastic. So if anyone out there is listening and is looking for a great opportunity, it is there and ready to take.
For sure, and they are listening. We do have quite the pool of listeners here. But if anyone that is listening is interested to be a part of the Iowa University team there, how can they reach you? Via email, or how would you like for them to reach you?
Yeah, they can reach me at my email, which is kyle-bennett@uiowa.edu. And so I'll be available for the next 4 years there because I'll be going to school there.
Right, right.
So there's that way. And then if there's anyone that's seriously interested and wants to apply for the job, then just go to the University of Iowa website and then find it there. But if you send me an email, I can help guide you a little bit better and actually get you in contact with some people that you could actually talk about the job before maybe fully committing, right? And so just shoot me an email, and I'm available anytime.
Yeah, that's fantastic. For the listeners, if you know someone that is interested in possibly speaking to Kyle about this, we're going to have a link with Kyle's email in the description as well. I'm sorry?
I can even give you the link for the job description and all that stuff.
Yo, that would be fantastic. And what we'll do is we will add it in the description, whether and we're talking to our listeners now, whether you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram or IGTV, right? Or YouTube, whatever it is, it's going to be in the description for all of our listeners on the podcast, whether it's Stitch, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts. It's going to be in the description as well. So I'd like to go into this. When you got there, you said that it was barren. Now there is a digital workflow. What inspired you to go into rather be a catalyst for this department to go completely digital? And what were some of the challenges that you encountered within this process?
Well, so, the first couple of years working there, it was, doing everything traditional, and it's fantastic because, that's what I was trying to do and I love it. But my boss wanted to have a transformation, and there was some opportunities that had risen up for me at other universities to go there and teach digital. I looked into it, and then after that, my boss wanted to grow the department into a digital workflow. And so I started researching different companies and different softwares, things that we could use that would be better or that would work well for our institution, right? For like HIPAA compliances and all this. And so,
right.
It was a group effort between me and my boss, Dr. Holloway. And so once she's like, okay, let's figure this out, I just went crazy. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And so I talked to all these different companies, and I found one that was willing to help us out big time, and we went for it. And Alma Gerbach was good help in that. We got like the Motion 2. Let's see, for the scanner, we got the MAP 400, and then Motion 2 mill. That mill is amazing, by the way. And then we ended up getting 3Shape as well, 3Shape scanner, all within the same week.
Wow.
And so once it all came in, it's like, okay, Kyle, you got to learn this like now. Like yesterday. You should have learned it last week. So now it's time to teach the residents. So it's like, I'd go in one day and, learn how to do like just a single crown. And then the next day I'm like, okay, who wants to learn how to do a single crown? And then so I'd teach them how to do that. And, we've been doing it for about a year now, and now it's awesome. Everyone's super excited to do it. They want to get their hands wet and do more digital stuff. And so I think the biggest push for us as an institution to get this stuff was that's where the industry is going, and that's where it's been going. Ever since I started as a dental technician like 16 years ago, the first lab I worked at was they had a CEREC scanner in lab, and man, it's still super slow now. But the industry's been going that direction for years, and so now things are much better and much faster and much higher resolutions, and it works more efficiently and all these great things. And so the industry has really made it hard to not want to get it, or even more so, like if you don't have it, like you're not really that competitive anymore. So
that's right. For sure. I mean, I do believe that digital dentistry is not the future. It's the now. I mean,
yeah, right.
You know, it's not the future. I was hearing a few conversations there, and I said, no, I'm sorry, but it's not the future. It's now. It's here. It's now. You know, and you know, any laboratory that is not investing in their team to continue their education in the understanding of digital dentistry and how it works with fundamentals, I think that it's some of these people are putting themselves in a really, really dangerous position because, as you mentioned a second ago, we're seeing the high resolution result at the end of the line at a much faster rate. And it just allows the dental technician to spend a little more time in the aesthetics, right? And making sure that the end product is that much better, but there's a lot more production going on in the background. So for sure. Yeah. Now, you're going back to dental school, moving a little forward here in what's going on now. You're going to dental school. You're going to do what now?
Well,
I'm going to continue to teach. Are you looking to open up a practice? What's the end game here?
So my girlfriend is a fourth-year dental student right now, and so
that's what it was.
It is. So she's awesome. She's hopefully we can find something around the area for her for the next 3 years, and then after that, you know, we want to open a practice. You know, we either want an acquisition or do a startup. I like the idea of an acquisition. A startup is a little scary, but I'm also not afraid to take that risk. An acquisition would be much nicer, just because it's already built. Patient pool is there, but I think having our own practice is where we're gonna go for sure. As much as I love to teach and I like academics, you know, I'll be close to 40 when I graduate, maybe like I'll be like 38, right? And so I'll need to make some money to get those student loans paid off. So private practice is going to be the way to go. Sure. There's a lot of things that I want to do in private practice. I want to focus on like aesthetics and just be like a cosmetic dentist. And so at an institution, you know, like it's slower, you know, it's much slower. You have time to do all these different things. And, you know, I want to do some KOL stuff. I want to do some public speaking stuff and at all these different events. And so I think having a private practice to see more cases and do more will help facilitate in that.
For sure. I mean, having the background of a dental technician and going into dental school to take it to the next level, I believe it's a phenomenal, an admirable move on your part. And, you know, starting something like this with a partner, it's fantastic. Sounds fantastic. Now, a dental technician in an institution is very different than a dental technician that's their own lab, doing their own thing, getting their own, dealing with the customers, which in this case would be the doctors and all this. But you did mention that you did work in a laboratory before. That's where you started. Mm-hmm. So a lot of dental technicians face the challenge of time management, and because these cases need to roll out of the lab, we have to produce and get them out into the hands of the doctor so they could go into the mouths of the patients. But in an institution, it's a little different here. But now that you're going to be going to school, how do you think the the time management there is going to change, or is it going to change at all? You believe it's going to stay the same? How do you forecast this time for you?
So I'm not going to be a lab tech while I'm in school. I might do a little side stuff, but I want to focus on school. But it's interesting, the dynamics between like an in-house laboratory technician at an institution versus let me back up a little bit. So the first lab I worked at was a large lab, high production lab, right? And I did that for a couple years, and I liked it. I got a lot of experience doing digital stuff and getting my hands wet and learning a bunch from all kinds of different people. Then I went to an in-house lab with a prosthodontist in Davenport, and it was a smaller lab. There was like 4 of us, so I got complete artistic freedom. So that was awesome. That was magical. I learned so much doing that. And then from there, I went to another small lab where it was the same deal. I had already learned a bunch about aesthetics and all this stuff, so I just got to just do a bunch of production. And then from there, going to this lab that I'm currently in. So I've been in all kinds of different scenarios, right? So just a big production lab, an in-house lab, and then just a small like mom and pop shop to an institution dental laboratory technician. And all 4 of those have their own different dynamics, right? And so an in-house lab technician, you still have the heavy production, right? And then if the doctor comes in like, hey, can you add this contact? Or, hey, can you adjust this shade? Or whatever. Hey, can you come and talk to the patient about what's going on? You still have to deal with the production, right? And so that's very challenging. As far as an institution, it's comparable in that sense. I still have to produce, I still have to hit numbers, right? But it's a lot less forgiving on the production end, where it's more focused on the education, right? And so that's where this is a lot cooler, because I've grounded out to burning the midnight oil and just trying to get crowns out, working day and night. And I still do that here just because that's who I am. Like, I'm working on a big case, and it's like I want to do a great job. This thing is going to look fabulous or whatever. Some of those are on my Instagram, but it's a lot different in an institution. It's slowed down, right? And you can actually focus on things. You can actually like let's say you were having a problem with maybe some materials in the lab. When you're in a production lab, it's like, okay, I'm not using that material again. Give me something else. Let's get this done, right? Well, here it's like I can take that material, I can figure out what's going on and really dissect it and really figure out how that material works in my hands and get it to work. And then it might be better than anything else I've ever used before. And so that's really cool, right? And so that's what I like about this job. And then you get to teach that to someone else that's interested, or maybe it's part of the curriculum. And so then you have to teach that to the students, right? And when you do figure things out like that, the faculty are like, okay, how'd you do that? And then you show them how to do it. So out of all the different types of labs that I've worked on, this is definitely the funnest. Definitely the funnest, because it's like you get to like hang out with students, Well,
it's interesting that you touched on this very important point. When you're in a production lab, the truth is that reading the instructions or reading the manual is not a common practice. You pretty much have the idea of how something works, and you just go in there and let's hope for the best. But it's interesting that you brought that up, because I have experienced in conversations here that there is a dental technician that loves a particular product and suggests it to his partner or a friend or whatever it is. The friend in his lab says, this is junk, this is garbage, it's never worked for me. And this is exactly why. Sometime, or not sometimes, but in a production lab or a lab, period,
yeah,
it's really about production, with the exception of what you were mentioning. Although you do have a quota to meet and all this, the focus is the production. The focus where you're currently at now is the education. But in a lab is just production. So it's very interesting. Oftentimes, there are products that are in the storage, and they've been in the storage forever because the time doesn't allow, or the season isn't as forgiving to allow the exploration of aforementioned products. And it's very interesting that you brought that up, because I hadn't thought about it that way. But for sure, I think that's something that we would have to possibly find either an app or come up with an app where laboratory technicians can just sell the stuff that didn't work for them. and the people that know how to use it are like, you know what? I'm going to buy this stuff. They just don't know how to use it.
Right, exactly. That's awesome.
Well, that's very interesting. So that's phenomenal what you're sharing with us. You're a dental technician, over 16 years of experience. You're going back to dental school, looking forward to opening up your own practice, and also becoming or staying active in the education, but deciding to go into education as a KOL or a key opinion leader. Now, are you currently working with any companies at the moment?
No, not right now. I've talked to a few, and like I've talked to Amin Gerbach at a couple meetings and stuff like that, and Benco and a couple other places. And so it's still kind of working on some things and seeing what kind of things will blossom. And it's really where it's like, okay, I know a lot about the lab, and I use a lot of different products, and I know how to use all these different products, whatever. And but I think they're a little hesitant because I'm going back to school, So, but it's also interesting that some of them are like, okay, yeah, we can work with this. This is a rare situation,
right?
And so, but we'll see. This is just something that's just started to come out, and like definitely, hasn't even been, I don't know, 6 months or so, whatever. But we'll see. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that a couple of colleagues will want to help me get through dental school.
For sure. And I think it's something that will, I think you having that foundation in the lab and going into dental school and furthering your education, I think that will certainly be a phenomenal asset for some of the companies that are really joining in and marrying the lab and the clinic. I mean, because that's really what's happening. I mean, more and more we find doctors that have an in-house laboratory, because that's what technology is enabling.
Yeah.
So I think that's
once I'm out and once I'm done, I'll definitely have a laboratory in my own practice.
Of course. That's just a natural progression for you.
Yeah, right. It's like, okay, so I got this case. I can fix this.
Exactly.
Or like I got to take it easy. But when I get to that point, I wouldn't mind having a laboratory or a laboratory technician on staff. Like that is huge. That's huge because not only do you get a little bit of production, but all the things that you can't do as a dentist because of time management and all this stuff, that's going to be like my Achilles heel. Like this is stuff that I love to do, but do I really have time to do it? No, I don't. I got patients to see, and so being able to have someone in there that I can trust and rely on is going to be huge.
And collaborate, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'd be pretty cool.
Very, 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 very exciting. And Kyle, we are definitely looking forward to having you back here in the near future so that you can share with us your journey. And I mean, you've had a very interesting journey as a dental technician, but into this new, let's say this new arena, right?
Yeah.
This new arena. You're going back to school. Obviously, life is changing, but we're very excited for you, and I'm sure and confident that we're going to continue to see each other in all these dental shows and And
yeah, I still got a CDT to keep up.
Mr. Kyle Bennett's practice.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting, man. But I definitely look forward to continuing to see you continuing to widen up, because you obviously hit the gym pretty hard. So that you can't stop that.
I like to do that, man. Between the gym and my dog's she's a doc dog. She's a champion doc dog.
Yes, you showed me pictures. You shared pictures of the medals. How many medals did your dog earn?
At that event, it was 5. She got 3 first place, a second place, and then she got a competitors medal in the finals. She took 4th in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
But we ended up jumping in the pro finals, and those dogs jump, 26, 27 feet, Wow. But Lena's getting there. She's only 2, so next year, big hopes.
I like it. Kyle, we want to be able to follow you. What is your tag on Instagram, Facebook? What's your tag?
On Instagram, it's at Dennis more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of fun. And then you can follow me on Facebook if you can find me. Facebook's more personal kind of stuff, but if you can find me, hey, we can be friends.
For sure. We're going to be adding all the information as usual, ladies and gentlemen, in the description, so you can follow Kyle. I'm already a follower. I'm a fan. I'm a believer.
Yeah. Nice.
Kyle, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. And once again, I look forward to having you on the show in the near future to hear your journey and the evolution of your professional progression and all that. We're looking forward to hearing back from you again, brother.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, man.
It's been a pleasure. And once again, I want to plug it back in. Ladies and gentlemen, if you or someone you know is interested in taking up that position that Kyle is being promoted from, then we're going to have that email and the link in the description so you can get a hold of it. Kyle, it's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, bud.
Take care, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you soon.